Hey everyone, it's Justine, health and wellness transformation coach and author of the book Lose Your Inches Without Losing Your Mind, which is right up there. I'll put the link below to my website and all that fun stuff. But I wanted to hop on. I was inspired, and I've learned that when I'm inspired to make a video about some topic that I have to do it, because one, I'll just forget the information, and two, that somebody or the people that are supposed to hear this message will hear the message. And so I am just doing what I'm inspired to do. So I thought about the top main lessons I got from my travels abroad, especially from going to Bali, which is, super far away. And I always like to sort of like think about things afterwards and look at it from like I always like to learn. I'm like a permanent student, okay? So I'm always like, what did I learn from this whole situation? Like, how did this help me grow as a person, and how am I going to continue to use these lessons to move forward? So anytime you have a new experience in your life, I encourage you to do the same thing. Like, what are you learning in the situation? What did you learn about yourself? You know, good or can be improved. There's always reasons. There's always like room for growth because we're here to become our best selves ever. So the first lesson I learned is to trust what shows up in your life. Sometimes things show up that you didn't even know you were looking for, and you didn't even know that you needed, but that your soul needed. So in a previous video, I kind of talked about how the Bali trip even came to be. I had no plans to go that far away. I've heard of Bali, and I watched that movie Eat, Pray, Love many years ago, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. And I know friends that have gone there. But I took a Reiki class, and they handed out these postcards at the end about this retreat, and I was like, maybe I'll take a postcard. This was after I walked out the door, then I walked back in the door. I said, okay, well, I'll take a postcard. So I didn't know if I could go, the circumstances, how I was going to make it with, working and the sort of all the hows of how it would happen. But I felt like I was supposed to go. So I made it work. So that's part of just like trusting that shows up in your life. I didn't know that I needed a trip like that to that particular location. And I didn't know what the results would be, but it was something that my soul was needing. So I just trusted it. And in going over there, first of all, I felt really empowered to travel that far by myself, to show up in a brand new country, to meet a whole new group of people that I had never met before, and made a lot of really wonderful new friends and new connections. And meeting one of them on Tuesday, to hang out and plan workshops together. So there was definitely a reason for me. There's several reasons for me going, but that was one of them. Just kind of like trusting things that show up in your life. Even the other day, being asked to go to a movie with a friend that I hadn't seen in a few years. It was the Coldplay documentary, if any of you guys are Coldplay fans. And, just like hearing the music again and like seeing their story. And I didn't know that my soul needed to watch that day. But I was just feeling it was exactly what I needed. And also to reconnect with my friends. So, and I'm taking a dance class next week. So, you just gotta like trust stuff. The next thing I've learned is to be open to receiving blessings in our life, and we don't have to control everything every step of the way. So I used to be of this mindset, and I'm sure plenty of us are, that we feel like we have to control every single aspect in our life. If we're not always like going and making it happen, that it's not going to happen. And that's like sort of, we're always like in our head, like go. I have to plan this and plan that. And this has to happen at this certain time, and then this has to happen, and this is the next step. And certainly there's a place for that. I mean, if we just sat on our couch all day and didn't plan anything, like nothing would get done. But there also needs to be space to receive blessings, like receive opportunities coming into our life, receive meeting new people. We have to be open to receiving. For any of you that are like, maybe a little bit more, well, maybe, so there's two kind of energies within all of us. We all have a divine feminine energy and a divine masculine energy. And then usually we need to be balanced within ourselves. And one of those energies tends to be the more dominant one. So obviously I'm a divine feminine with feminine and masculine energies within myself. and it's gender neutral. So I don't know if any of this makes sense, but the masculine energy is all about, action, go, 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 like getting, planning, just, like an arrow, like just going, right? And then the feminine energy is about receiving. So we can't just constantly go, 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 because we're not leaving any space to receive anything. So sometimes we have to take action, go, 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 then release a little bit and give that space to receive stuff in. I'm not sure if any of this is making any sense, but I'll just give you some examples. So part of in Bali, I knew I was going there for at least one reason, which is kind of like to find the next path in my life, like what's part of my soul path, right? And I definitely know it's doing energy work. So I've been a health and wellness coach for so long, and I love it, and I help people all the time, and it's so gratifying to help a person. I just absolutely love it. So that's nutrition and exercise. Okay, so that's the mind, body, and and the knowledge of what to eat and how much to exercise and figuring out what works for them in that capacity. But there's also this whole spiritual side. So I want to tie in more of the mind, body, spirit part, and that's how does a person, what does spirituality mean to them in their life? And it's different for everybody. And how are they feeding their soul? And how are they, and adding in energy work like Reiki, which I'm getting the next level certification in 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to offer sessions like that. So I'm super excited. But just putting it out there, so I get back, right? And I just started telling people this is what I'm doing next. And already I have several opportunities to start adding on energy work. So, because I just put it out there, I'm like, yes, I'm saying yes to this thing. And blessings are already showing up and coming in. And I want to do workshops. And anyway, more things to come. But the point is, we don't have to control everything. We have to put the intention out there. We do need to act like when we're inspired to do so. Or if something pops up in your life, yes, you have to take action. Like I would have never gone to Bali if I just sat on my couch and didn't, figure out the steps to actually go. But I'm always open to receiving new experiences. I'm always open to receiving personal growth, soul growth. I'm like an open vessel in that way. So that's how that sort of came in. So anyway, that's the second thing I learned. The third thing one of my big takeaways is to be open to receiving healing and to be open to receiving new methods to look at things and maybe process things that we hadn't heard about. Okay. And with the word healing, I mean, that has this sort of connotation like we're all broken or something, which is not it at all. But we all have different experiences in our lives. And sometimes, it didn't make sense at the time, or it really hurt us at the time, or it was just really hard to deal with, or we don't understand why this person acted this way, or why this person did this or took advantage of us. And we all have experiences like that, right? Multiple different levels. So sometimes there is stuff that we need to heal and we need to face and we need to look at and we need to process. And maybe we need to forgive that person, or maybe we need to look at it from a different perspective, or maybe we do need to do energy work and receive, a Reiki healing or something like that, or talking to anybody, maybe it's as simple as getting massages. Okay, that actually moves the energy around too, which I did a couple of those in Bali, and that was amazing because it's super cheap there. But just being open to receiving, being open to continue to grow and to heal stuff that maybe, again, we didn't know that we needed to heal, or we didn't know was stuck in us. That happened a lot during this retreat. We'd have different exercises or go through different meditations, and sometimes a instance would pop up in my mind that I didn't even remember, or I forgot about, or was from a long time ago, or I didn't even think mattered. And then I was like, oh, well, that happened. That's how I was affected. And now let me look at it from a different perspective. And so so there's a phrase that says you have to feel it to heal it. Okay, and that goes to my next observation is that we have to be okay with expressing and releasing emotions. So we have to feel it to heal it. So during any process of, healing ourselves and various things we've gone through, we have to be okay with expressing emotions. We have to be okay to cry sometimes, okay? When we're feeling an emotion and sometimes it's out of the blue, the worst thing is to like keep it in. When I work with a lot of people with emotional eating, they're literally eating their feelings. They're trying to stuff it down with food. And I used to be an emotional eater when I put on my weight, like in college. So I totally get it. But I didn't like express my emotions. I didn't know how to process my emotions. And I just shove them down because I just want to always make it seem like I'm always okay and always everything's good and whatever. But we have to be like, it's safe to release emotions. It's safe to cry. It's safe to like feel anger. I'm angry at this thing. So it's not me. It's just this thing that needs to kind of move through me for a bit. All right, I'll just let it move through me. And then the thing is like the second that you let the emotion go through you, like if you need to cry for 5 minutes, you feel so much better afterwards. It's like you feel so much lighter. So anytime and it's also called purging, like when you're going through a healing process of whatever it is that you're working on or you're facing or experiencing, feel the emotion. It's okay to feel the emotion. It's safe to feel the emotion, and then release it. And then you feel so much better. But don't suppress stuff because then it just gets bottled in, and then it just like wants to explode, or it just can manifest in other ways, and like addictions and just treating others poorly, or just being mean. You know, just it's better to express your emotions in a healthy way. So feel it to heal it. The next thing I learned, and this is probably one of my bigger takeaways, is to be our authentic self, let our light shine, but also use discernment. Protect your energy, protect yourself, and use discernment with who you trust. But it's really important to just like be ourselves. Sometimes we just feel like we have to act a certain way in order to please other people for whatever reason. I don't know why this happens, but it does. I'm sure tons of you can relate to that. But it's better for us just to be our authentic self, because when we're our real self and our authentic self, then our light shines even brighter. Okay, then we're just happier, and then this is when we can receive more of the things to come into our life better, because we're in a better we're in a better vibration. We're in a better state of being. We're just happier and lighter. Because like a grumpy, mean person, they're not going to have like lots of wonderful opportunities coming in, or someone that's constantly like anxious, which I used to have a lot of anxiety with a lot of things. And that was just because I was always trying to be like perfect or something. I was too hard on myself. But I'm definitely a lot lighter, And just be your authentic self. Me making videos and talking about stuff like this that may be a little bit out there for people, this is me being my authentic self. This is part of me, part of what I enjoy talking about and teaching about, and I know that other people enjoy talking and hearing about it as well, and I know that it helps people. So let your light shine. But then also with letting your light shine. So if you think about a really bright light, then there's always like moths that try to like come and be around the light, and that's where you need to use discernment. So why are they coming at me? Do they need something? What is it that they need? Are they wanting just to be my friend authentically, or a business partner or whatever, or are they trying to like get something from me? So it's just using discernment and trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. Next, I've learned to be open to miracles and open to happy surprises. And again, things just showing up that I didn't know that I needed and I didn't expect. So when we're happy and we're aligned and we're just, doing our thing and happy in all areas and not like anxious and fearful and nervous about all sorts of stuff, miracles things just happen faster. Okay? It's all about like being that light, right? We attract more stuff. It's not even stuff, I'm not talking about material stuff. If I learned anything from Bali, like you don't need anything material to be happy. You know, it's good to the most important thing to them is to be happy in their spiritual life. You know, they're very they have tons of ceremonies, and they're very just spiritual, and they love nature, and they're just very, very spiritual people, very happy people. And then what's the second most important thing to them is their relationships, love and family. So that's it. You don't need material things to be happy. I definitely learned that. Is it nice? Sure, but it shouldn't be the main focus, right? But yeah, just being open to miracles, being open to synchronicities happening. Synchronicities are normal. Synchronicities showing up in your life means you're on the right track. That's just how things should be, is what I've come to realize. Things shouldn't constantly be a struggle. Okay. I was listening more about, I don't know lots about a lot. Well, I know a lot about a lot of stuff, but I was listening to something about, Buddha, and how he wanted to end all suffering. Anyway, I need to learn more about it. But like the purpose of being here isn't like to suffer, right? It's to be happy and enlightened and enjoy all aspects of our lives at all times, and be open to wonderful things showing up in our lives. So what this all boils down to is trusting. Trusting that things will work out for you. Trusting that you deserve happiness. Trusting that you deserve abundance. Trusting that you deserve peace and joy and love and all the good things that life has to offer. If something shows up in your life that's a bit chaotic, take that as an opportunity to look at things from a different perspective. So, for example, let's say a person loses their job out of the blue. Now that can be viewed as like a really horrible thing, and sure, it may cause a little bit of chaos at the moment. Or it can be viewed as an opportunity to try something new, or to go on a different path, or try something that a person's always wanted to do. Like, what is their passion? So it can be viewed both ways. Another example is, let's say you see a person that you haven't seen in years, and you initially think it's going to be like one scenario, like what you've been used to. But let's say it ends up being a totally different experience, and you bond more, and you have better conversations, and you're seeing, how happy they are in their life, and anything that was in the past is in the past. Like whatever your perspective was going in just completely shifts. So it's really just like, having this trust, and this trust that things will work out. Trust that everything is always happening in your highest and best good. And also just really saying being positive is so like cliche, but just really having like a nice, like a good neutral perspective on things, and being open to possibilities, and not thinking in the past. Because I heard one phrase one time, and it was something like, when we're thinking now in the present, like it's peaceful. If we think in the past, a lot of times that could result in feelings of depression or regret or remorse. And then when we think in the future, in terms of the future, then we have like a base, like fear thoughts, like, oh, well, I want this to happen, this has to happen. So it's like, if we're not thinking of the present moment, like right here, right now, if we're thinking in the past, we're going to feel one emotion that's not very pleasant. And if we're thinking in the future about stuff and worrying about stuff, we're going to feel another, unpleasant emotion. So it's really about just doing our best to be as present as we can, like right here, right now. Like what's happening right here, right now? How can I enjoy this experience? I'm making these videos for the people that are supposed to see them. How many will see them? I don't know. But I know that people are going to watch it, and they're going to like it. And then I get more, I'm having subscribers, which is like each one that I get, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Someone likes what I say. Like, I'm just so excited. Got a comment the other day, and the girl said, oh, this was exactly what I needed to hear. I was like, oh, thank you. That's what I needed to hear, which inspires me to make more videos. So just, being like, I'm not worried right now who will watch it, who will like it, or what people even think. I'm just enjoying this moment right now. And another thing that's interesting to think about, there's another phrase that says, as within, so without, and as above, so below. So and there's of course the law of attraction, and you could, of course, most people have heard about this, but from what I gather from these different phrases and these different ways of thinking about things is that what we're feeling on the inside will be reflected in our outside world. So if a person's feeling like, just down on themselves, or just, sad, or just like, oh, like all these things happen to me and life is horrible, and, just only bad things happen, or just only drama or only chaos, it's going to be reflected in their outside world, versus kind of shifting the perspective. And it may take a little bit of work to, like, okay, instead of looking at everything, I'm just going to start changing everything within, and saying instead, I feel happy, I am loved, I am abundant, things are working out for me, things are working out in my favor, opportunities are coming my way, new adventures are coming my way, wonderful new people are coming into my reality. So shifting the what we're saying, and then the perspective on everything into more of a positive light, and an uplifting light, and just you could probably even tell just looking at me on the video, like when I'm saying all these other phrases, like nobody likes me, everything's horrible, like whatever, like you could just see in my demeanor, like bleh, versus like, oh, I feel good, I feel happy, everything is working out. So that's another thing to think about, and another way to kind of like shift perspective on things and just really be your happiest and best selves. It's all part of a journey. This is why we're here, and this is why there's coaches like me to help you continue on your journey. So if you would like a session with me, I'll post some links below. I have a Groupon deal that's been going on, and some new clients. So usually it's via video on Skype, or we can also meet in person if you happen to be in Studio City, California area. And also I will be adding Reiki to these sessions, and this can be in person, and even if we do video sessions, I'll be doing remote Reiki. So that's something that I'll be learning here in a few weeks, and I'm super excited to add that on to what I do. So I hope that this video was helpful for you, and if you like it, say thumbs up and subscribe, and post a comment if you like. They all make me smile, and I will talk to you later the next time I get inspired.